what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to Kamikaze. I'm Q. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. So we have a very, very special video today. We are doing an interview with Tony Trombetta from EGS Grading. Very excited about it. And I'm also very excited. I'm going to be joined by none other than Sithlordly from SpineTix. He's going to be my wingman, my co-host in the interview coming up, and I am so looking forward to it. I hope you guys enjoy. All right, YouTube, what's going on? Today we have a special video. We have a couple special guests. We have Sithlordly from SpineTix. Sith, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. It's great to hang out with you, chop it up. I'm looking forward to this. Thanks for the invite.
Finally getting together. It's awesome. We have Tony from EGS on deck, and we're going to bring him into the room and have a little chat about his company and all things grading. Let's get him in here. Tony, how are you?
He's connecting to audio.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, he says a nice line of books behind him. We have the East Coast and West Coast happening here.
That's right.
What's going on, guys?
There we are. Tony, how are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Nice to meet you, Tony.
Thank
What's going on,
you for the time. We have Sith here too. So how's it going over at EGS? Busy?
Busy. Yeah. Yeah, man. Doing really good.
How many books are you guys, because I know you're the only one grading right now. How many books would you do per day, per week?
I would probably say, I don't know, I've probably got somewhere around 250 or 275 waiting to get done at the moment.
Okay.
So, you know, standard turnaround time is a month. Not all of them, of course, are a month. You know, pressing and cleaning, those get done separate, so they're a longer turnaround time. So
right, or if you do the fast track.
Right. So, I mean, you know, that's a pretty good amount. I mean, you know, some days I'm not grading at all. Some days I'm just slabbing and shipping and doing stuff like that. And then other days I'll just grade all day. Right. So
right.
It's hard to kind of say how many I do per day, or per week, but it's going well, man. It's just, dealing with this plastic shortage is kind of,
right.
Is kind of pulling my hair out because,
there's a lot of different industries that are feeling the pinch when it comes to finding materials.
Yeah, it's just, like my cases, right? I mean, so,
so
go ahead.
That being said, no, when you finish that, talk about the cases that you are using.
Yep. So the cases that I'm using, we don't make them, so I buy them, right? I have to buy them. So what's happening is the guy who I am purchasing for, his plant that is making these is suffering a little bit with the shortage of the plastic, of the plastic that they use to shoot the cases. So basically what's happening is, it's taking, a lot longer for me to get my orders in, and I'm only getting a fraction of the amount that I ordered. So,
That's crazy.
It's like it gets crazy because it's like now I have to try to like ration out, certain things. I have to kind of ration out, okay, I know I have, 2 weeks for this, or, a week for this. So I have to designate so many cases for these. Right. Before this, it was just, I'd order 100 or 200, and there was no worries. Now
is that affecting submissions? Like, is that holding anybody's submissions up right now? No,
not yet.
Well,
So
thankfully.
I'm still able to hold down the 21 business day
That's great.
turnaround. I mean, I've been a couple orders. I've been like maybe 1 day or 2 days.
Sure.
But I mean, for the most part, I'm keeping, I'm able to keep that for now. I mean, hopefully it doesn't get any worse. I mean, I think if it stays the same and then eventually gets better, it'll be okay. But if it gets worse, then I might have to start adjusting my turnaround times a little bit. But
right,
we'll cross that bridge if it comes to it. But I'm, knock on wood, man, I'm hoping it just stays the same and we can deal with it, and then it just gets better, or it just gets better quickly and we're back to normal. So I don't know if the other companies are dealing with this, probably not, because they make their own. So I'm sure their warehouses or their people that produce theirs probably gave them a little warning, and they were able to probably manufacture a shit ton, so it's probably not
a little preemptive strike,
but I don't know. I often wondered, I'm like, is that why CGC is taking 4 months or 5 months for you to get a book back? Because of the plastic shortage, but they don't want to tell anybody.
if it is, they should tell everybody, right? I don't think they've ever said anything like that.
No.
I'll say this, I'm a cards collector, and just trying to get top loaders for my cards. I mean, I used to be able to buy those left and right. Now I'm paying 5 times more. And if I get 1 pack of top loaders, it's like gold, right? It's like, I'm like, thank you today that I was able to get this 1 pack of top loaders for the week.
Right. There's like even just a bag shortage.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I can't even get bags and boards for my comics. They get shipped to me in these wrinkly yellowed bags. I got to leave them in there.
Yeah, it's affecting a lot, but I mean, hopefully, hopefully it gets better soon.
So let's talk just a little bit about where the road to EGS. Like, we know a little bit how you kind of got there in terms of working in the comic shops and such, but the gap between that work in the comic shop to where you are kind of right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the comic shop was a long time ago. I mean, that was back in the 80s, man.
Right. My query is like, in terms of like experience with other businesses or something that's related, or.
Yeah, I did. Well, I mean, I've done many things, from construction to the restaurant business to real estate. I mean, I was in real estate. I mean, before I started EGS, I was doing real estate. So, the way the market is now, I'm kind of kicking myself that I got out of it. But
it's a different game now.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I was doing for a while before I started EGS. I was in real estate for a while.
So then what was the trigger that you're like, I need to start up this company?
Frustration that was really the main issue. Was I was just getting so frustrated of what was going on, that I said, there's got to be a better way, to do this. I mean, just seeing what was going on and how they were doing things and treating people, and inconsistencies and lack of transparency and all of this stuff. I'm like, how did these guys get away with it? But so basically I said, well, I think that there's room for another company, and I need to, get myself educated better to where I can, know I can, grade in this new age of grading. And, because don't forget, I mean, back when I was in a comic shop, there was no graded books. It was all the owners. Everybody put their own grade on the book. Basically the comic owners and everybody, did it that way. So I mean, I learned that way, but that way and the way it's done now is totally like night and day. So I had to educate myself, doing that. And then once I did that, then came the decision of, you know, obviously I can't open up a grading company without cases, right?
Right.
So,
Did
you
you
know,
try and source, like, aside from going with comic skins to begin with, did you
mhm.
try and say, I'm going to manufacture these myself?
I, yes, I mean, I
Okay.
looked into it. I
Okay.
did. I looked into it, uh, and then saw the price tag, uh,
Right.
and was like, well, you know, there's no way I'm going to be able to, you know, come up with this on my own. And of course, without doing it and being in business, trying to pitch this idea to investors about a grading company and about cases for comics, you know, I mean, you know, you try to explain to them the best way you can and show them examples, but you know,
Right.
at least I found around here, I couldn't find anybody, you know, willing to give me that kind of money to to produce my own right off the bat, like the other companies did.
So in being transparent, can you just let me know, like, what would approximate cost? Like, I'm curious.
Uh, to
What
start,
would it take to manufacture your own case?
you're probably looking at about 20 grand.
Just for the, so
Mine, I mean,
you have to make the mold first?
right,
Right.
right. That's right, because you have to make the mold and pay for that. And that's the real expensive
Right.
part of it, really. But then once you do that, you own it. So
Of course.
you're good, you know, I mean, you're good for probably 15 years, you know,
Right.
years,
Until it wears out. Yeah.
you know, until it wears out. So, you know, so I'm going to say, you know, I mean, you're probably looking at 20 grand and then plus your first order, you know, of how many cases you have to order and how much that is upfront. So, I mean, you're probably
Right.
looking
Yeah.
at 25 to 30,000, you know, somewhere in there. Um, so, of course, you know, I mean, I don't have that kind of money. I mean, real estate was good, but not that good, right?
Just
So,
sell a few giant size X-Men ones and you're there.
yeah. But so then I found, you know, comic skins and I started thinking, I'm like, well, let me check this out for
Right.
myself because, you know, I'm not going to just, you know, put a crappy product out just for the sake of opening up. Right. I mean, it has to be good enough, you know, that I felt was going to be a good enough product. So, you know, I seen them. I talked to the guy. He actually sent me one for free. And, you know, I looked at it and now I'm like, okay, well, obviously, you know, these things open up, right? And, you know, the inner liner that it comes with is open, right? So you could actually, once you take the sides off and then it'll flip open. Then
So
you
the
can,
the inner liner, is it, Seth, are you familiar with comic skins at all, or?
Yeah, you know, and this brings up where I first heard about EGS, which was on pressable defects. If you remember when Debucha did a presentation of the book, and I remember he was kind of, you know, showing how the case could be opened. But it sounds like maybe you've addressed that since that time.
well, this is how I had to adjust, right? So I had to come up with a way, right, that, you know, obviously, you know, you can't just be able to take the sides off and then just flip it open and then
Mm-hmm.
take the inner well out and you could just take the book right out of the inner well because it's not, you know, it's open on two sides. So you could just, you know, put any book in or out that you want.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great idea, and it's a really the case is really good. I mean, it's crystal clear, it's UV protected, right? I mean, the
Yeah,
actual
I saw
case
that. Yeah.
is nice, okay, but you know, it's not practical for what I needed it for, so I had to make it practical for what I do. So I got one and I'm like, okay, how do I, you know, I like the case. It's a really nice case. It's crystal clear. How do I make this work? So first off, I said, well, you know, addressing the inner liner issue, I talked to the president of Comic Skins. I'm like, look, I'm like, first off, I'm like, are you willing to make me different inner liners? I'm like, because your label area is way too small. I need a bigger label
Okay.
on the top. He says, yeah, no problem. I could do that for you. I said, okay. So once I knew he can do that, then it's like, I kind of fixed that because I didn't want a tiny little label on top. So then I said, well, now I have to address the issue of sealing it inside the inner line. So I turned to Mark, who's the president of Comic Skin, and I said, Mark, I said, you seal your inner liners, I say, on the top and the sides, and you leave two sides open so people could take them in and out, right? And he said, yeah.
I guess that's how it was designed, right?
Right, that's how it's
Like
designed.
For collectors, right? It was just to protect it.
Right. So I said, so is sealing hard? I mean, did it take you a long time to learn? He's like, no. He's like, it's easy. I'm like, well, I'm like, how much are the sealers? He's like, they're not that bad. $300, $400. You get yourself a brand new nice sealer. I said, well,
sorry,
okay.
Can you explain this the sealer? Like, is it a machine? Is it?
It's a machine to where
heat.
It's like an arm, right? And you set the book in, and it's like an arm that comes down, and it creates a seal on whatever it is you're sealing.
So there's no heat whatsoever. It's just
it is heat. It's
it is heat. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is a heat sealer.
Okay.
So he's like, look, he said, this is the one I've got. He's like, look, I can, we could do a Zoom thing, and I could just show you, how to do that. I'm like, okay, let's do that. So I went out, bought the sealer, and then he showed me how he was doing it. You just, you have to line everything up, and then, you make your, you can make a permanent mark once you get it nailed down to where it's pretty precise, and then it's really easy.
Have you made a jig to fit like the existing ones, and just you just pop it in and okay?
Yep, it's pretty much I just line it and pop, it and pop. So it's
assembly line.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. So I said, okay. So once I learned how to do that, I said, okay, so now I've got the book totally sealed in the inner liner. So now you got to cut it out like you do with the other companies, right?
Right. I mean, it's been tampered with.
Right. So I got my label big enough, and now I know how to seal. I could actually seal the book, in there. So I said, okay, there's that problem solved. Now I have to go on to the issue of now the outside. How do I make it to where, you're going to know not that somebody tried to, take the sides off and open it up to get in it. So then I started researching different security stickers and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And I came up with the idea. I'm like, look, they sell these clear stickers, that I cut, right? That I put on the sides and the bottom. They're clear, so you can't really see them, but they're there. And then I researched, and I got the security, another like the stop sign looking thing. And I put that one on the very bottom, because even if you were to get those other two off, right, you still have to pop the bottom up to get into it. So now you have to get through the one layer, and then once you pop that bottom, that security sticker is going to leave a mark that you can't get off. You're going to know the slab was gotten.
It's going to leave a mark on the case?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
On the actual case.
Those stickers, did you have them specially printed for EGS or?
Nope.
No.
Nope. I just found them. I researched and I found them, and I have somebody that, makes them, and I order so many, a month. But so then I was like, okay, well, I mean, I think this could be something good enough to where people are like, hey,
right.
I feel comfortable that I know if somebody tried to get into this thing. So not only do you have the security stickers on the outside,
right,
but now you have to actually cut the inner well open,
right,
to get the book out. So that was really, once I got that down pat, then I started pitching it to some YouTube personalities back then.
Right, to gain some traction, right.
Right, and I said, hey, what do you guys think? I'm like,
right,
would you say this is acceptable? Would it, do you think people will, you know, think it's good enough
Right.
to where they're not concerned about security issues.
Oh, okay. We just for just the security part of it. Okay.
For the security part of it. So, you know, I wound up sending them some examples, and, you know, they looked at it and they were like, yeah, I think it's, you know, it's definitely good enough that addresses the security problem. So once I addressed that, then I was comfortable saying, okay, now I can,
right.
You know, now I can launch. I have a product that is, you know, going to be acceptable, I think, to
right.
not everybody. I mean,
right.
Listen, not everybody, some people are still really critical of it, and I get it, but
well, it's something for everybody, right?
Right.
Like I was talking with Sith before you came in, like this community, like whatever you want, whatever you're into, you can find that, right? If you want to, you know, do X with this book or that with this book, right? You have the options. You had a pretty good question, Sith, for the going to the next part of this.
Yeah, well, first of all, let's Tony, let's hope there's no sticker shortage, because then, you know, you'd be dealing with a plastic and a sticker shortage.
Yes, that would be tough. Yeah.
You know, Tony, I've been aware of your company for a while, and you know, I run my own YouTube show. You know, Q has been kind enough to invite me over here, and this is a great collab between him and I. I was trying to think about how EGS would fit in with my style of collecting or transacting. And as I was racking my brain, I thought about it today. I think I found a niche for your grading for, you know, well, first of all, let me just say, you've got the best labels in the game.
Thank you.
I mean, just as I'm looking behind you, those comics pop.
Thank you.
I've got a lot of raw books that, you know, some of them I want to move, but as an eBay seller, I'm at the mercy of a buyer who, you know, I was telling Q just, you know, a few weeks ago, I sent a book that I thought was a fair grade. He got it, disagreed with me, sent it back, and I had to pay for the shipping. He could have also trashed it. He could have replaced the book with his own copy that was, you know, I could have been at risk. And I was thinking, you know, part of the reason I don't sell as many slabs is just the wait time with CGC. But if your times remain the same, I could probably send some of those books into you, get them graded, have the security, have a serial number, right? And be able to send that. And if there's any dispute, I'm going to look pretty good favorably with that because I've got security measures and all of that. So I think I might have found a niche, you know, because you know, you can see behind me, I've got some grails back there and they're CGC books.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, I started out grading books mostly just to verify that they're not restored. Right. Because I sent in a Hulk 181 and unfortunately it came back purple label. Right. And that was terrible. So I've stopped buying major keys that are raw. But, you know, I have quite a large collection. So I was pretty happy trying to think of a niche for EGS in, you know, and I'm going to share that with my audience as we start talking about it, because I have a friend, Traveling Root Beer, who you may know. He also ordered from you, and I haven't watched his video yet, but I think he did a review with you or on the books.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've just been kind of thinking about how EGS would fit into, you know, Spine Ticks, the show I run, and that sort of thing. So, you know, again, shout out to Q for bringing me in on this discussion. And
it's about bringing people together, right?
Yeah,
showcasing what you have and just you know, giving that to the community. So when Sith mentioned that to me, I was quite impressed, right? And again, he's finding, you know, what works for him. And again, people are going to gravitate towards you because they want something, whether it's because of time, whether it's security or, you know, safety. So they're gonna do that. So
you know, I do have a follow up on the security. So when I was watching Pressable Defects early on demoing your comic, I guess that was before you had perfected the sealing method. Is that right?
Might have been. I don't know.
Because I remember he flipped it over and he said, look, you know, this might need to be adjusted. It's easy to get into the case. And I guess I'm wondering if, you know, any of that feedback played into your efforts to get these cases sealed.
No, I mean, I don't really seal them any differently. You know, all I could say is that they're sealed exactly like they are with any of the other companies. They all do the same thing, right? They all have the same pretty much sealer. So, you know, I don't know if he was talking about the actual case or the inner liner.
I wonder if it was
about sealing. Like, I don't
yeah,
know.
was it like a prototype that might have been sent out before you had the sealing?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know. You know, I mean, I would have to see what he was talking about. I don't know per se if he was meaning the actual outside of the case or the inside of the case, because I mean, everybody who knows what a comic skin is knows they're made so you can open up and take it out. So I had to modify it, like I was telling you, to, you know, make it so it is secure. And trust me, the time and money it takes for me to do that is crazy. I mean,
I can imagine.
Listen,
well, the beauty of this conversation is that, you know, you've really explained it well, and I have a really great understanding and a peace of mind in how you're handling it. So again, you know, Q, this is a great service you're doing, bringing Tony on.
I'm privileged that you're joining me on this little chat. It's awesome.
Yeah,
my pleasure.
Well, like I said, I mean, I had to know myself that it was good enough to put out, because I wouldn't have put it out if I felt it was shoddy, or, you know, the product isn't good. You know, I mean, I would have rather just not opened and just waited, you know, until somehow I can, you know, get the money or another product was available or something, you know, until then. But
does Comic Skins, do they manufacture in-house?
No.
Okay, they don't manufacture in-house.
He has a, you know, they're called injection molders. It's an injection
molded,
mold.
yeah.
So there's actual shops that do injection molding. Now, I want to say, I think CGC does theirs in-house. They have a whole setup.
I'm not familiar.
They can afford. They probably hire somebody, and they have the machines and everything that they could do it in-house.
But in the future, you plan on doing like some sort of crowdfunding, Kickstarter to try and
hopefully in the next few months we're gonna launch it and kick it off. And I'm pretty sure. I mean, I feel good about raising enough money to where I can definitely go ahead with it. And I'm hoping by, you know, maybe the end of this year, beginning of next year, start having my own case, because it's already designed. We've already designed it. We've already paid for that. We have it designed. We have all the specs on it. Now it's just, we're shopping around. We're shopping around different injection molders, you know, getting different prices. You know, now with the plastic shortage, who's going to be able, who's having problems getting plastic, who's not having problems getting plastic.
Because once you make that turn to do that, like there's no turning back. Like you don't want to go back to using that product beforehand, because
exactly. You know, another thing, you know, do I want to stay in Florida with somebody here, or do I want to go to China? Do I want to stay in the US? You know, another state. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's involved, you know. So right now we're, you know, and it takes these guys forever. I mean, I'm going to tell you, man, it takes these guys forever to come up with these estimates and prices. And
any kind of manufacturing, I'm not surprised.
So, you know, we're still gathering our data. And once we have the data that, you know, we are comfortable with, then we make the decision, okay, now we know who we're going to go with. We know how much it's going to cost. Now we can go forward with the crowdfunding, and because we know where we're going and how much it's going to be. So, you know,
interesting.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of factors, man, you know,
of course.
Because listen, I can do it a hell of a lot cheaper in China overseas. Half the cost.
I just don't know how that would be perceived by customers. I don't know. I don't even imagine
that. Okay. The quality control over there, who knows? Okay. Now I'm also going to, you know, I'm also, go ahead.
There's a lot of stuff that's manufactured, you know, overseas. That's pretty good quality. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. I mean, tariffs are going to be involved. You know, scratching of cases in when they ship over. Right. You know how shipping is. I mean, how good are they going to pack them? How many out of my order are going to be scratched that I can't even use?
True.
You know? True. So yeah, it's half the price, but now you got to bring all this other stuff into it. So, I mean, if I could stay in Florida, I could probably go pick them up myself.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Save time and cost.
Save time, cost. So, I mean, there's a whole bunch of, different things that we're evaluating,
right.
But at least we've got the design all paid for, all set to go. So now once we find somebody, we say, okay, here's the design.
Push go.
Make the tool,
right.
So that's kind of where we are. So we're hoping in a couple months we'll have everything together and we can go ahead and launch, and then we'll have a case that looks more industry.
Do you feel do you feel that not so much the security thing, but the whole presentation of the case, like that sets you apart, like either good or bad, like presentation, like Sith mentioned, like the labels are amazing. I like that you have that option. Like that's one of the things that, sets you apart from your competition. I think like you can just go plain, like when I submitted an order and I haven't got it back yet, but I should be getting it back in a few days. But just having that option to like kind of color coordinate with the books was awesome. It may be for some, it may not be for everybody, but
right. And that's the thing. We believe in giving people the option.
Right.
That's what we're all about. We're all about, hey guys, I mean, you guys are the ones paying for this, and listen, getting your comics grading isn't cheap.
No.
So, you guys should have more options to choose from, that's really how we came up, with this idea is, we wanted to give everybody more options. So, I mean, getting back to your point, I mean, with the cases, really the only thing that I hear of is, some people, they don't like the looks of the little tabs that they have on top,
right.
But again, unless you've actually seen one in person and held one.
Yeah. I've only heard good things. So
yeah, I mean, they're not that big. They're very, very, very small, but a lot of people just say, well, I can't get past the look of the hinges on the top. Okay. Or some people say, oh, it's got those black side rails on the side. Okay. I mean, if you don't like that, I get it. I mean, listen, the industry is used to one thing, right? That's why we say we're changing the game, right? Because we're coming along and saying, look, you guys, everybody's been programmed to look at things one way in the grading industry, right? And one of the biggest things are the labels, right? I mean, the labels are color coordinated to mean something.
Right. So that when you've made a comment before about how the other companies, your competition has like dictated things. Is that in reference to that?
Yeah. I mean, basically they say, look, this is it. You like it, fine. You don't, there's other places to go.
Sith, what do you think of the labels?
Yeah, well, and before I forget too, I got a question on what Tony was talking about with innovation, but I think the labels are amazing, honestly. Like they're better than, and I'm a CGC guy, but they're better than even the CGC custom labels. You are doing it right when it comes to those color coordinated labels. I feel like artistic folks, that they'll gravitate towards that. I do presentations on my show, and Q, you might have seen how I always color coordinate the slide color with the comic book.
Sure, it's important. Yeah,
it is. Right? It really makes it pop.
Yeah.
But yeah, if now's a good time to, because Tony's coming in disrupting the game, and I'm a big sports cards guy, right? And we have the same problem with PSA and BGS on delays and things. And you got a company like HGA coming in, and they're doing stuff with computer grading now as well. So Tony, I'm not sure where the market is in general with computer grading, but is that a thing, with your competitors? And is that, if it is kind of on the horizon, are you, in your plans to disrupt things, are you also looking at that?
As far as I know, CBCS, PGX, they don't use computers. I don't know if they're looking into the whole computerized thing or not. Have no idea. As far as we go, I mean, that would be crossing a bridge, you know, when we get there, you know, I mean, because we're still infants in this game, right? I mean, we still got a long way to go, a lot to prove to people. You know, I think we've been to maybe one con since we've opened. You know, I mean, so everything that we have and we've received have been really just through social media. I mean, we haven't really gotten out there to even meet people.
That's one of the things. That's one of the things I really appreciate about you. You're very interactive with a lot of other content creators, social media. Well,
you have to, you know, I mean, you have to be. It's important. You know, I mean, you have to have. I call it. You have to have the boots on the ground.
Right.
You know, because if you have your boots on the ground, you're always going to be connected.
Right.
To your audience, your people who are using your product.
Well, right? you got me as a customer because of it.
Like there you go.
I'm thinking about submitting an order.
Right, and I have to say that I'm happy that I'm the first Canadian customer.
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yep. First one that we're actually shipping out of the U.S.
Right. So. And one of those is for you, Seth. So it's coming shortly.
Oh boy.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, you know, Tony, to Q's point, I mean, you know, I'm big in interaction, mutual interaction, right? With whether it be a comic book publisher, writers. I have writers come on my show. I was just telling Q, you know, for me, I don't fanboy. I used to work in the music business. You know, I like real people who, you know, interact and get involved with the community, because that's what I'm about. And I mean, it just having you here and to be able to speak with you and to hear your process. I mean, I don't want to say like answered a lot of questions, but it's really given me a lot to think about, because either I have the CGC slabs or I got like a one-touch top loader like this, you know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
But you know, I've started to think, like I said, about different ways that your service might fit in with my collecting habits or selling. And you know, you're doing it right, man. I really applaud you for how you're going about it.
Thanks, man.
Right. And then once Sith presents that to his, you know, his fan base, like that just starts a different process of thinking about your company.
Right.
Because that, again, you're always, you know, I find that people are always trying to find fault in things, and they will always find a fault in things. So I appreciate you just saying, this is who we are. This is what we have, right? If you like it,
exactly.
Try it out.
Listen, and
if you don't, you know.
Yep, absolutely. And if we make a mistake, we'll fix it.
Right. But,
I mean, no questions asked. I mean, look, nobody's going to be perfect, you know.
Right.
I mean, but it's how you handle it.
Right.
You know, it's, you know, being, you know, answering those emails, answering those DMs when there's a problem, and letting people know, hey, we got you. We're going to fix it.
Right.
Don't worry, you know. So
I know one of the big things is the connectivity that you want with your customers. But what happens when you get to a point when you start scaling up and you have to hire different people, you hire new graders, you have to hire people on shipping, so on. It's going to happen, right? You're moving towards that. Like, how are you going to maintain that connection to the customer when maybe you're too busy, or like, is there a plan for that? Because I know that's really important to you.
Yeah, no, there's always going to be there's a plan in place to where if it gets to a certain point that I know something is lacking or suffering on any front, you know, then it's time to hire the people and train the people. So, for instance, if I feel that, man, you know what, you know, I can't answer my DMs on my phone no more, or I can't.
It might get to that point, right?
I got no time to post something on Instagram, a picture, or
Sith has somebody answering his DMs.
It's getting to that point,
right? Sorry, it was just a joke.
You know, obviously, then, you know, I mean, I'm gonna hire somebody and train somebody so I can have the time to keep doing that, because you can't let, to me, you can't let that suffer.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
you can't. I mean,
I think it's important.
Yeah, it's probably the number one thing that I think is just customer service is, to me, beyond everything. I mean, listen, I know, I mean, look, the grading is important, the transparency is
For sure.
important.
For
all
sure.
of, I mean, there's a lot of things on that list, but to me, you know, I mean, customer service is always going to be, I mean, number one. I mean, that has to be
Right.
number one, because if you're not making your customers happy, then,
Right.
you know, why are you, you know, what are you doing? And that's why I looked at these companies, the way that they were doing things, and I'm like, you know, there's a better way here for people, because I know I was getting frustrated. You know,
Well, there's definitely a lot of frustrated people out there, and it comes down to time, right? You know, you try and money, like you spend good money,
time and money,
to send your books in, right?
Yep.
And then when you try and have that communication, you're like, what's going on with the books? What's happening? And you don't get that.
Right.
And people are just like, I don't know what's going on. My books are sitting in queue, but you know, I'm not getting a notification, or they sat in queue until, you know, 4 months, and then I don't know, you know, nobody really knows. So I think it's important to have that interaction with your customers. So
yeah, you have to. I mean,
right.
To me, that is the most, like I said, that's really the most important aspect of it. I mean, without that, to me, I don't know how these, like I said, I mean, I don't, listen, you know, CGC has been around for what, 20 years?
Correct. Yeah.
21 years. I mean, CBCS is going on 8, right? I think maybe 8 or 9 years. PGX has been around for 14, 15 years. I mean, so, you know, I just think that as a whole, right, as a whole, these guys really aren't doing a good job when it comes to relations with the customers. You know, I mean, you guys are the ones that are paying us, right? I mean, so we should be giving you the best service
right
out there, you know, but I think maybe they lose sight of that. You know, I mean, I don't have a boardroom. I don't have investors that I have to answer to. I don't have all of that. So I think,
well, now they have investors, or
they've gone corporate.
Big ones. Yeah, definitely.
Well,
so,
like, I mean, I'm not surprised that they did that. Like in any growing company, they get to a point that they need to get a cash injection in order to move forward properly. You know, you can't knock them for doing that. What they do moving forward in the future with it is, you know, everybody's going to be watching. So it's important. Hopefully, you know, they'll cure a lot of the problems that people are having. I don't know. I just think that people are really frustrated.
It opens up competition for someone like Tony to come in, right? And you know, to your point, Tony, about customer service, beyond the grades and molds and plastic, what I'm going to leave this conversation with is you being so personable and transparent, and just, you know, a collector who loves comics, who took the next step. You know, I had a question for you regarding registry, and you know, you kind of let me know if EGS has a registry or not, but if not, is there plans for one?
Census?
Yes. So I could look and see how many 9.8s and my favorite book there are, et cetera.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have one. But I mean, first off, we already have a database. Okay. So every order that's come in to us to this date is in a database. So, you know, we have a database with books and grades and all of that. So we have that database, right? But to actually do a census is, again, time, money, right? And you got to have so many books to do it, right? So, I mean, I think we've done maybe 1,500 or 1,600 books total, right? CGC probably does that in an hour or two, right? So, you know, that's another thing, you know, I mean, we're waiting to at least get a good big stockpile to, so when you search it, there's going to be, you know, a lot of data there for you to, you know,
Yeah.
you don't, okay, so, you know, we say, you know, Hulk 181, right? I've done one. So if you looked up on the EGS census, you're going to see one Hulk 181. That's it. Who wants to do, you know, I mean, who wants
what,
I mean,
I'll give you an example. There was a Star Wars book. I'm, Sithlordly, right? I'm a Star Wars guy.
right.
And I was fairly confident that I had the only graded copy of this particular book. So not only did I look at CGC, but I looked at CBCS as well.
Mhm.
And, I expected a lot less of anything at CBCS compared to CGC, but I kind of took a holistic view, right? I didn't check out PGX, but I guess in that case, it would be interesting to, poll all of the companies and see truly how rare it is.
Right. Yep. I got you. Yeah. It's like I said, it's just, we want to get to a certain point with volume. We want to get the volume in there. And then once we get the volume in there, then we can start to transition of how we want to do it. I mean, because there's different ways of doing it. You know, I mean, are we going to do the chip to where you just scan it and you'll be able to see? I mean, there's so many different, ways of doing it. So we don't even, we haven't even gone there yet. But do we want to do one? Are we going to have one? Yes. But again, that's future,
It's nice you're thinking about it. You're aware of it, that collectors want that. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
So that being said, where do you see EGS in the coming future? Like 2-3 months for, you're going to do that crowdfunding?
Listen, I really, my belief is that once we have that case, once we're producing that case, it's going to be game on. I'm telling you, it's going to be game on. Okay.
There's a lot hinging on that case.
A lot. I mean, listen, more so than just pleasing people. Okay. More so than just pleasing people. People who want to say, oh, the hinges, all this, you can get into it. Well, I mean, you could get into any slab if you wanted to. Let's just face it, right? But I mean, besides that point, okay, what I have to do with this case and how much they cost me in materials, in buying the actual cases, in time to do every book. Listen, if I had my own case, I'd be paying half as much per case, and I'd be able to do 10 books in the time it takes me to do one right now. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. So just
that's just by yourself.
Exactly. I mean, so really right now it's like I got these handcuffs on my wrists. Once those handcuffs come off,
my man just wants to work. You just want to grade.
Right?
Yeah.
Set him loose.
Listen,
so
all I can say is just imagine, I mean, listen, our case is going to look very similar to what you see, the other companies, except, what we did do, we took a couple things from Comic Skin, right? We took a couple ideas from what they actually put in their case, like the UV protected.
That's a great option. I like that.
So our case is going to be UV protected just like that. They shoot in that UV in with the plastic. They shoot it in. So we're going to take that, and we've incorporated, that in our case. We've also incorporated what kind of plastic they use, because I'm telling you, the plastic that Comic Skin uses is the clearest out of all of them. So, we're taking the UV and we're going to take the same plastic that he's using. We're going to use that same plastic for our very own. I mean, other than that, I mean, they're really going to probably look pretty similar to what's behind you, but only imagine that with an EGS label on it.
Are you going to offer a reholder service for, the early folks?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, listen, we're also going to, right now we're just starting to think about the crowdfunder. What are we going to do for tiers, right? What are we going to offer for, people who donate so much? Are we going to have one tier? Are we going to have two tiers, whatever? But as far as the recasing goes, yeah, I mean, I don't know what the price is going to be, to do it. I can't see it probably being more than $10 to recase. But I will say this. We are not going to regrade the book just because you're sending it in to be recased, unless we see physical damage to the case. Like if we get a case in and it's cracked, or it's showing some pretty bad wear, okay, then we might reassess the book because of the damage on the case. But if you're just sending us a case and there's no sign of damage, why are we going to regrade it?
Right.
To me, it doesn't make sense why these companies feel like they have to regrade something that they've already graded, and it's coming back to you with no damage.
And they were the last ones to handle that comic, and put it in the case.
Yeah, and maybe it's a money thing that they just want to grab just a little bit more money. I have no idea. Grab a little bit more. Or...
I don't know, but I think that's just like totally ridiculous. I mean, listen, you grade it, stand by your grade, unless there's something visibly that you could see that maybe caused that book to get damaged on the case or something. Then I could see maybe revisiting it. But if your company already put the grade on it and it's coming back to you with no signs of damage,
right?
Why are you regrading it?
See, these like what Sith said is like, in terms of disrupting what's happening right now, that's just one little element of it. Because when you build all these like differentiations between you and other companies, that's what's gonna really kind of set you apart. What I was trying to get to when I was asking about the future is in terms of how people in the community see EGS, because you have an idea of how EGS is perceived right now. Like regardless, the case is great, beautiful colors on the labels, but in terms of like, where people see you right now, and then where the community will see you in terms of maybe legitimacy in the future.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think we've got, we've still got a lot to prove, right? I mean, like I said, this is our third year.
Right.
We haven't been able to go anywhere.
Right.
Really.
Yeah.
I mean, so many people don't even know we exist.
While doing stuff like this, right? And getting on people's channels.
Yep. I mean,
getting into forums.
It's one faction of it.
It's a huge faction, yeah.
But then you've got the one-on-one personal when you're at a con and there's 10,000 people that are going to be there that weekend, or 20,000 people, and you're front and center with your product, meet and greet and talking, I mean, you can't substitute that, so I don't, I mean, our perception has been, to me, very positive. I mean, listen, there's always going to be your hardcore CGCers who are never gonna, I mean, look at anybody else, and that's fine. I mean, people have that brand loyalty. They're always going to have that brand loyalty,
right? And
you're never going to be able to infiltrate that unless that brand does them seriously wrong, right?
Right.
So, you can't. I don't worry about
even then they'll probably still keep going back.
Right. So, I mean, I can't.
The glutton for punishment.
Yeah. So, I can't worry about, how those people react to us, because I already know, and you can tell, okay, they're brand loyal, and that's fine. But the people who we're engaging with, who are using us because of what's going on with the other companies and how dissatisfied they are. I mean, when they're using us, I mean, we're getting really positive, feedback, and people are really, are liking it. So, and again, you're going to have the people that just don't like the case. So many people, I get people every day. Hey, let us know when you get those new cases. That I can't tell you how many of those I get. And these are,
then you'll see them when you get the new case, like
hopefully, right? Hopefully. But again, I wish that they would maybe you know, try one and then make that, you know, make that statement. But
well, I think your customer is going to be more open-minded, right? Like when I presented what I wanted to do, this interview with you to Sith, he was like, yeah, man, I totally want to do that. I want to hear what Tony has to say. I'm really curious, have my own questions. Like that's a customer that you're going to get. Like I know he's right there. I know he loves CGC, but you know, he's curious about different options. And I think that's the kind of customer that you want. And that's the kind of customer that's going to gravitate towards you. Do you agree, Seth? Like,
actually. Yeah, it's evolved because, you know, Tony, when he first came in the market, right, you know, it's okay. Like you said, you got something to prove, but, you know, now word of mouth is kind of spread, right? You know, you've got our friends, Comic Book Canon, Travel and Root Beer, other folks. And, you know, I know those guys and I'm like, okay. And obviously with CGC, it's no secret what kind of situation's going on there. I mean, I started looking at CBCS for the first time, you know, and I've submitted my fair amount for grading, but a lot of the time I just buy a slab outright. So yeah, when Q presented this, I was like, you know, I'm more open-minded now than I was, you know, a year ago, just, and you doing these shows, the word of mouth. And, you know, after this interview with Q and myself, right, I mean, we're going to reach people with this. And, you know, a lot of them will expand their options too.
Right.
Yeah. And, you know, again, I set this up. I mean, just even if you look at like our pricing structure, right? There's no membership fee. Okay.
Right. That's actually when I first called you and you're like, yeah, you don't have to pay anything. Just send me the books and pay the bill. Like it was that easy. It was awesome.
Yeah. No membership fee. And if you notice, all our pricing is flat across the board. There's no, oh, your book is worth this much, so it's going into a different tier, and now you got to pay this much. And listen, a modern silver is $25 every day of the week, no matter if it's a Amazing Fantasy 15 or Hulk 102.
Will that ever change?
No. Well,
you know, speaking.
No, I mean, why? All that is a money grab. Am I doing anything different? Am I doing anything different? You're paying for insurance if you want it.
Right.
Okay. If I damage the book, then guess what? I have to pay for it. Right. I mean, so I'm not doing anything different to any book that I get. So why am I charging you more? I mean, it's
you know,
know,
I got a related question on that. So, you know, pressing, obviously, like you know, we know some of the best pressers in the game, but they're backlogged as well, right? Like, you know, 2-3 months to get a press. So, you know, with you having the pressing services there and then turning around and also grading it, pressing and cleaning, you know, as an example for like, say, a modern pressing, well, I don't know if you need to clean it, but a modern press and grade and say a Bronze Age or Silver Age press, clean and press or grade, what are we looking at there for time?
Well, all right. So if you're getting a book graded and pressed or clean, press and clean, it adds another 21 business days to the 21 business days. So it's
still
double.
Not bad. It's not
so
terrible.
You're talking 42 business days for a clean press, grade, out the door, shipped to you. Standard.
Yeah. I mean, that looks attractive compared to, I mean, you know, some of the pressers, I can't even get a press in that time because they're so backlogged.
The presser I sent those 4 books to, D'Angelo, he's an awesome guy. He's 12 weeks.
Wow.
Like you send him, he's like, cause he's like one of the best, but 12 weeks. He did me a favor, but yeah. And I think all the cleaners and pressers are all the same, right? All the good ones. Like all the guys would be like, yeah, I'll do your books tomorrow. I don't know if you want to send your books to them.
Yeah, the cream's rising to the top, and all the best guys are backlogged in relation to the PSA or the CGC grading backlog, right? You know, because everyone's trying to get pressed clean and then over there so they can get the books graded and sent back. Yeah. And that's why I haven't sent anything in for so long, because, you know, who wants to wait? What is it? 8 months? I don't even know anymore. You know,
I've had books since January.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just rather literally you know, unless I'm buying a slab outright, I'm just buying a $18 top loader, you know, and Mylar. But I mean, you know, look at what Tony's got back there with the beautiful labels. So,
Yeah, and
I
it's
mean, this is
great.
definitely, it's
I mean,
convinced me to send some books in,
yeah,
you
I
know.
mean, listen, it's graded, it's certified by us, you know, again, we don't have any say in what our books are going to sell for. We can't, we don't put the price tag on the books. We don't sell them. So, we can't, if our books are selling less than CGC or CBCS, I mean, that's something that we can't help, but maybe, hopefully
Right.
over time, the
Right.
more reputable we get, the more collectors are like, oh, I want an EGS book. Hey,
That
we
that was
value EGS over or just as much as CBCS or anybody else, then that's going to change.
right. That's what I was
So,
trying to get to in terms of like where you see yourself
yeah,
in say 4 or 5 years. Like,
yeah. I mean, hopefully we'll be right there with them. I mean, I don't see why not.
is that because of the connectivity you're going to maintain with the customer, the
I
service, the
think,
time,
yeah.
everything? Yeah.
I mean, if you take that and just the total service, right? I mean, that's really what you're paying for.
Right.
To me, I've always said, I wish it was. Wouldn't it be great if the market or the collectors, the community, whoever, right, said, guess what? I don't care if you've been in business for 20 years, 20 days, 20 months, 2 years. We say whoever gives us the best service, their books are worth the
Right.
most.
Right. Wouldn't that be a wonderful place?
You know,
Wouldn't,
and if,
wouldn't that be great, right?
yeah,
I
Right.
mean, so because really at the end of the day, guys, that's what it's about. You're paying for a service, right?
Right.
You're not just paying for a case, you're
Yeah.
not just
Yeah.
paying for a
You're right.
label.
No, you're right. You're
I
right.
mean, it's the whole
it's an
experience.
experience. Yeah, we said it
So
at the same time.
yeah,
You know, and to piggyback on that, right? So, you know, I just took a quick look on eBay, right? EGS comic completed sales. And I was wondering if that's something like, do you occasionally are you curious look at eBay just to see if people
I
are
do.
selling the EGS slabs?
Yeah,
Like, are you seeing
yeah,
a trend
I
of
do.
more?
Yeah, I would probably say we're probably in the 15% less than like CGC
For moderns
uh,
or
for pretty much anything across the board.
oh, okay. Okay.
I mean, they're probably getting me. Right now they're probably about 15% ahead of us. You know,
Mm-hmm.
CBCS is maybe 6 to 7% more than we are. Right now we're more in line, I think, with PGX actually. If you look at what ours are selling for and what PGX is selling for, we're kind of right there with them. Maybe even a little bit more, a little bit less, depending. So, but hey, listen, uh, you know, I don't.
I like that you're checking though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, sure. I
Right.
mean, I wanna know. I mean,
Right.
how
Yeah.
what people are. Are they selling our books? Are they just keeping
Mm-hmm.
them, or or what's going on? But
Yeah.
listen, say what you want about PGX, right? I mean, we've been in business 3 years. They've been in business what, 15, 16? So if we're drawing about the same amount that they are, and this is our third year, to me that's promising. I mean, people say, "Oh yeah, but it's PGX." Well, I get it, but they've also been in business 15 years.
And we got
That's a
you
pretty
here
big
on the
head
horn.
start.
You know,
Yeah,
you're the one speaking to us, right? And you know, and again, you know, you're addressing a problem. You're resolving a problem for me where I might want to sell some books. I don't want to wait 8 months to get them graded at CGC. I plan to sell these books so I can at least get them in some sort of a sealed holder with a serial number on there, so I
yep,
can't get shystered on the other end. And I don't care if it's 15% less. I'm getting them back quick, and I'm able to move that inventory.
right. Yes.
Mhm.
And
I think you just found your new spokesperson.
There you go. Well, I mean, that's the angle I'm going to present it to my audience is, you know, if you're in my situation and you want to move books, it's a great way to do it.
yeah, yeah. And like I said, I mean, it's just you know, it's people like yourself, you know, I mean, there's other, you know, YouTubers out there that are, you know, behind. I mean, take Reggie, right? I mean, I don't know if you know it or not, but I mean, Reggie launched my company.
Yeah, I saw the interview you did with him. That was great. Yeah.
I launched my company on his channel, and he's a CGC guy.
Yeah.
He's a CGC
guy. But he's very open-minded.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm starting to see more people start to look at that and say, hey, you know, we have another option now. Hey, let's check them out. Let's see what it's all about. Let's do this, you know? And
listen, but you keep when you keep hanging out with Reggie and Sith, and then more and more people I appreciate that you said yes.
Listen,
but those guys are movers and shakers for sure, right?
Yeah, man. And I got Journo keeping me in check.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I got those guys too, for sure. Yeah.
Yep. So, you know,
hey, you know, I mean, shout out to you,
I can count on them. So they could, you know, I know if I do something wrong, they're gonna.
He's gonna call you out. Yeah.
So, yeah, I never really do pre-recorded videos. I do live shows, but Q hit me up with this, and you know, you're so convincing, Q. I was like, hey, let's do it. It sounds like fun. So I mean, really, you're like the glue to make all.
I bribed him with beer.
I bribed him with beer. Not hard to do, man.
Well, we don't want to keep you much longer, but you know what? Do you have anything else you want to kind of add, or we went over a lot? I mean, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we've gone over. I mean, we've gone over a lot. I think people, should just, again, you know, check us out, see what we're all about.
Right.
You know, make up your own mind. You know, don't just listen to a chat board or what some other person is, you know, I mean, just
a lot do though. A lot do.
They do.
Right.
So I've always said, listen, submit a book and find out for yourself. You'll see what we're all about, you know, and then if you want to still say you like so-and-so better, or you have a critique, or you have that, then fine, you know, but I think you'll be pleasantly surprised when you, you know, when you check us out. So
well, when I get those 4 you send me, and again, I wanted to have them today, like, and I'll send them off once for Sith and once for Journal's channel.
Yeah.
And hopefully that conversation will sprout from that, and so on and so forth. Like, that was the whole point behind this. It's about connecting people, right? It's about that, you know, creating that more of that community. So
yes.
And having this conversation with you is a huge part of it, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, and Tony, I'd like to bring you on a Spine Ticks when that happens.
There we go.
Of course, Q is going to be there, man. You know, you got to be there for that. And
for sure, but it's a late one. You're on the East Coast, so it's going to be like a 3 a.m. kind of thing.
All right, man.
You're up for it, right?
Hey, listen,
he's a hardworking entrepreneur. He'll do it.
That's absolutely right, man.
It's on a Saturday.
Oh,
so.
Yeah. No worries, man. I have a couple beers and we're all good.
Perfect. Yeah, that's perfect for our show. I love it.
Right. That's it. So, yeah, but I mean, listen, I thank you for having me on. Anytime I can get anything like this, it helps us out
for sure
so much. You know, I mean, because now we're you know, a different audience is going to just, even if they just know we're here, they don't even, you know, I mean, just to know that they have another option out there is all we can ask for.
Well, I think a lot of people are definitely like, what's happening over there? I think they're definitely taking notice. So
yep.
You're doing a good thing. I appreciate the entrepreneurial sort of spirit.
Yes.
And what you do to keep moving forward. Like, it was a huge leap for you to get into this, right? It's a huge endeavor.
Yeah.
Like, you're going up a couple of juggernauts,
giants, man. I mean, they're entrenched.
Right. We need to do a comic of you. Like, that's
man, I tell you, it's tough, but if you keep doing the right things, striving every day, just keep chopping, eventually you're going to be there.
Right.
I mean, it's not going to happen overnight,
right?
But as long as you're doing your best every day.
Right. My thing is
all you could do. I mean,
my thing is showing up. Like when you show up, right?
Right.
Whether it's to a conversation, to somebody's channel, to an Instagram post, when you show up,
It means something.
it means huge. Like
Yes.
it's gigantic when you have that connectivity, right? When people kind of notice that.
Yes.
So,
and wait, like I said, wait till we get to some cons. Wait till, I mean, you have to wait till we start adding that in as well.
Yeah.
You know, just meeting people face to face, you know, so they can actually talk to us, our products right there that they could look, feel, touch. Oh, wow, look at that label. I mean, they could actually see it. I mean, that's a whole different dynamic that we haven't even tapped into yet. So,
Tony, what about an EGS YouTube channel, man?
I've got one.
He has one.
You run a show?
Yep.
I need to tune in then.
Yeah, I just did. I did episode 1 of Talking Slabs with Reggie.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
about a week or so ago. I've got about maybe 3 or 4 videos out on that. It's not. I mean, I just started it.
Hey, that's the way to go, though, man. You know, get entrenched with the community. I got a local comic shop that does that, and they're like, you know, how many comic book shops actually do that? Get involved with the community, and they're favorites now. So,
right, yeah, I think I've got about 200 subs, already. So that's pretty good, you know, for like a couple months. So,
well, when you see Spine Ticks commenting, that's me.
Gotcha. I've seen you on the Canon. You know, I've seen you on the Canon. You know, I've seen you on Aegis's Aegis's channel. So you know, I put the face to the name. You know, I mean, I know. I just never, like, this is the first time I've ever, you know, spoken to you, you know, face to face. But I know who you are. I haven't really watched the YouTube though. I haven't watched.
It's Thunderdome, man. It's
mayhem.
It is mayhem.
Gotcha.
Perfect for your slabs, though. Perfect for your slabs.
Man, that's awesome. And you're what, in Cali? You're in California?
That's right. Yeah, near Disneyland. Yep.
Okay, I'm near Disney World.
Oh, so okay.
We're both near.
Q will have to come visit both of us and compare.
Right. Exactly.
Yep. But yeah, man. Right. I mean, let me know. I mean, any other questions you guys have?
No, this was an awesome chat. I appreciate it. We went really into, you know, a lot of the different things that I and Sith, you know, we're kind of thinking about. I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're busy, you know, running the company, grading, you know, but so I appreciate taking the time. It's man, it's been awesome.
It's hectic, but it's going to get better. You know, that's
but you have a passion.
You know, I mean, it's I know that, you know, things, once I get those cases, things are going to change in so many different ways. I mean, what I do now is not even going to be close to what's going to happen once I'm able to produce those, you know.
Right on.
So right now, listen, it's a grind, man. It's a grind doing what I have to do with these cases to get the product out, not only financially, but just time. I mean, it's a lot, man. But you know, I
like building. You're building towards something.
I like you have that focus to that thing in the future, right? That's driving you towards that. Like everybody kind of needs that in terms of getting them, you know, through life and to that and to be successful. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Solid foundation, right? That's what it is. It's a solid foundation that we're building on. So
right on. Sith, you have anything else?
No, it's just been fantastic. I mean, this has exceeded my expectations. I had a great time. You know, it's actually my first time speaking to both of you. So
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it was just a great time. And I can't wait to see this up on YouTube and, you know, and actually submitting a book. And again, Q, thanks for, you know, submitting one for our giveaway. So
for sure. Yeah.
You know,
you'll be getting that soon enough.
Props to both of you. Thanks so much.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, guys. Well, have a great night. I appreciate everything. And yeah, we'll talk soon.
All right. Take it easy.
Okay. Cheers.
Later. Take care.
Bye. Well, that was an awesome interview. Me and Sith sitting down with Tony from EGS. I just want to say, appreciate the time that Tony took to speak with us. I appreciate Sith taking the time to be my wingman, my co-host on this. We both learned a lot. I look forward to getting some books back graded, and it was super interesting. That's all we have for today. If you guys like the video, please subscribe, hit the like button, shoot me a message, comment here or on Instagram. That's all we have for today. Hope you guys have a fantastic day, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.
Yo, microphone check, make it a microphone check. Give it a microphone, I make the microphone dead. Don't step to me, newbie, I could truly be moody. I could have played the fucking Grinch in the movies. I've been a part-time shadow cat, part-time. That is not a guy that I would ever want to try to...